Welcome back to the learning curve. So today I'm going to show you guys how to make a very simple timer using whatever font that you want. And in order to do this, we're going to be using Adobe After Effects 2021. This is the newest edition. So we'll go ahead, we'll open that up. And this is going to be really awesome. You can use this timer for anything, counting up, counting down. Use any font that you find on the internet. But when you open up Adobe After Effects, we'll go ahead, create a new project. We'll create a new composition. Do whatever settings you want. You can change the duration for an hour, do different frame rate, whatever you want. I'll go ahead and leave the default things on there. But when you have this composition open, we'll go over to this composition plane right here, and we'll right click and go to new and text. And we're going to create a new text layer and just type in something, whatever it is you want. Doesn't really matter because we're going to actually change that in a minute. And then we're going to create another layer, and we're going to create a new solid layer. And you can change the color to whatever you want. I'll just do black for now because we can change this later in Premiere or whatever you want to do. And I'm going to put the black solid layer underneath of our text layer that we just created. Now, when we have this text layer, we can go ahead, we can align it. This shouldn't make too much of a difference, but we're going to go ahead and go to Effects and type in Number. And we'll find this effect right here called Numbers, and we'll just drag that onto our text layer. And we can find the font that we want to use. So for this one, I believe this font is Mexcellent. And I'll center that and do OK. And then let me pull up the size here real quick. So this is our font here for the numbers effect. So everything over here is our options for numbers. So in order to create this timer, we're going to go to Type and click on Time Code. And then this is our frame rate, so time code 30. And then make sure that you have proportional spacing unchecked, because otherwise what will happen, and we'll shrink this down real quick, is you'll actually have your numbers bouncing around crazy. So you can see they're bouncing around back and forth, and that is not great to look at. But if we uncheck proportional spacing, we're actually going to get numbers that stay still. They're a lot better to look at, and you can adjust the spacing between the numbers by this tracking number. You can just scroll that smaller, further apart. Usually 0 is perfect for it. And so once we have this, all that we're going to do is we're going to come to the solid layer that we created. We're going to go ahead and use our rectangle tool, or we can use the pen tool. And if you want this full timer, that's completely fine. But for my case, I only want the seconds and milliseconds of this timer. So I'm just going to put a box around those two spots. And then I'm going to make sure that this is subtract on this little box here. And then once we've done that, I'm going to drag this solid layer above our text layer. And there we go. We have our timer. Really easy, really simple. And if you want to change it, all you have to do is go into your text layer here. I lied. Your effects layer, and press Options next to the number effect. And you can change the text here. We can go to any text that we want, Times New Roman. Okay. Times New Roman there. We might have to fix the mask depending on how the font is or how that font was working. But that is really easy to do. You just grab that pen tool, change this around, and there you go. You can see that the timer worked. So once we have our timer made, you have the font and everything set to what you want. Really easy. We're going to go ahead, File, and then we'll go to Export, and we'll just go ahead and add to the Adobe Media Encoder queue. This will open up our Adobe Media Encoder, and then you can export whatever settings you want from there, and you can pull it into Premiere Pro or any other video editing software that you have. And you can use the timer as is. You can reverse it to create a countdown timer. You can do whatever you want and use this timer in any way. Create different effects, do a radial timer. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.